Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our inaugural Hispanic Heritage Month webinar, celebrating the voices of our fellow Bobcats. My name is Ty Carr, and I'm the Director of Alumni Diversity Initiatives. And one of my responsibilities include, but is not limited to, Latinx, Hispanic alumni engagement. Here in Ohio University's Alumni Association, I have the privilege of coordinating today's event along with my colleagues in the Office of Global Affairs, the Center for International Studies, and the Division of University Advancement. Like I said, this is our first National Hispanic Heritage Month event to honor our Hispanic Bobcats. Today's panel will feature alumni, faculty, and staff that are all distinguished Bobcats. And these folks are, I'm proud to say, and I know I can say, they are friends of mine. When they were here and as we continue, post Ohio University. So without further ado, I will turn this over to our moderator, Dr. Emilia Alonso Semeneo. Should have practiced that.
Thank you, Ty, and good morning, everyone. As Ty said, my name is Emilia Alonso Semeneo, and I am a professor of Spanish. Well, actually, I have been a faculty member here at OU for over 26 years, 26 years and a half, so since 1996. And in my current role, I am a professor of Spanish, modern languages, and Latin American studies. And I also direct the Institute for the Empirical Study of Language. Welcome to Hispanic Heritage Month, celebrating the voices of our fellow Bobcats. As we get started, I'd like to tell you that today's event is being recorded, and the recording of this session will be posted on Ohio University Alumni Association YouTube page. So let me provide a few instructions for participation. First, we invite you to place any questions that you may have for the panelists in the chat Q&A section, and we will get to as many questions as we have time for. Due to the limited time that we have together today, we will likely not go to or get to all of the questions, but that's okay. I mean, we will try to get as many as we can. And second, at the end of the session, an evaluation will be placed in the Q&A, and we encourage you to take a few minutes when the event concludes to provide us with feedback about your experience here today. So let's get started with our discussion. Our panelists for today's event are Rosa Aviña Zúñiga. Hola, Rosa. Melissa Cárdenas, Mario Grijalva, Enrique Hermosilla, María Paz Hermosilla, Alicia Rojas Harrison, and Ivan Vélez. I would like to start by having each panelist briefly introduce themselves and state why did you choose Ohio University for your education. So I'd like to start with Rosa, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rosa Aviña Zúñiga. So I graduated in May 2020, so pretty recently. And I graduated with a degree in marketing with minors in business analytics and Spanish. So I chose Ohio University because of the Cutler Scholars Program. So I'm a James Daly Cutler. The program is basically a very special program for me. It offers enrichment experiences every year. It maintains community, mentorship, and so many other amazing things. But that's honestly the reason why I chose OU, and it still holds a very special place in my heart.
Thank you, Rosa. You're a very special person too. Yeah. Next, let's go to Melissa.
Morning, everyone. My name is Melissa Cardenas, and I graduated from Ohio University in 1996 and 2003. So the reason I chose Ohio University, it actually was not my first choice institution. The scholarships for another institution weren't enough, and a family friend said, "Why don't you think about Ohio University? My son is considering that university." We came down for a program called, at that time, Green and White Day. And that is where I met some of the most dynamic, most caring people I have met. I grew up in a predominantly white community, went to a predominantly white school, and to be surrounded with a community of people who cared and were, going to look out for me was something that was very welcoming, and it was a great choice.
Mhm. Thank you, Melissa. Oh, I'm so glad that you felt that way, when you arrived. Yeah. Thank you. Then we go to Mario.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation. I came to Ohio University in 1992 and graduated in 1997. I studied in the doctoral molecular and cellular biology program, and that really provided me a launch to my career thereafter. When I got recruited into Ohio University by faculty that visited my home country, Ecuador. And it was the people that really made me choose Ohio University, because these faculty members were caring, they were first-rate scientists, and they had a human, the human values were just amazing. And I got enamored with the people, and then later enamored with the institution and with Ohio University. Right now, I serve as director of the Infectious and Tropical Disease Institute here at Ohio University. And I also serve as the director of the Center for Research on Health in Latin America, which is located in Quito, Ecuador. I founded that center. And I am a full professor at the Department of Biomedical Sciences in the Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine.
Thank you, Mario. Welcome. Such a rich experience that you've had as a Bobcat and now as faculty is amazing, Thank you. Then we're going to go to Enrique.
Well, buenos dias. Thank you so much for this opportunity. While I was listening to the previous speakers, I was thinking about how would I express my experience coming to Ohio University. I think I come from a different, my experience is different in the sense that I was just graduated from undergraduate and I didn't know what to do with my life. I was married, I have 2 kids, and someone who was applying to OU as a faculty that I worked with in Washington, D.C. told me that I was smart enough to get a master's degree. And at that point I said, well, maybe. And I came to OU and loved it. And I spent many years there. My kids went to Athens High School. And I developed myself professionally because OU and the institution and the faculty believed in me. So that has become part of my DNA in terms of my relationship with Ohio University. I met Mario in '92 also, Melissa, and later on, Pasi helped me to get to know other people. Emilia, I remember Tyrone too. I got my first master's in international studies, and when I left, I decided to come back again. Eventually, I remember crossing the bridge, going to Columbus to pick up the plane, and I said, I'm going to be back again, but this time I'm going to be back with my family because I want my kids to go here, and also because I want them to be bilinguals. And 7 years later, I was coming back and went into student affairs. I loved it. OU opened the door for me to develop myself as a student affairs practitioner, spent many, many years there. And now I'm here at Indiana University. I'm still, after so many years, get confused sometimes when I'm talking about OU I say OU, and I have to correct myself because OU is very much part of myself. And likely my daughter graduated from there to my son. And I hope that my grandson in 18 years, 19 years from now, he will also part of OU. This is a great experience for me, just to see faces and be back into the times when I was there, walking together, trying to get a degree and figure out what we're going to do with our lives. And here we are, last accomplished, I guess.
Yes. And I think your presence is felt here on campus. It's almost like as you have never left, Enrique.
Thank you.
You and your family, dear to us. Okay, so now we go to Maria Paz or Pasi.
Yeah, also known as Pasi, Pasita, all sorts of names. Maria Paz Garcia. I am.
She's my daughter.
Yes. Yes. A little introduction about myself. So I grew up really listening about all the wonderful stories about Ohio University. There's a lot of pictures of us, my brother and I, wearing OU gear as little kids with a little paw prints. And it was basically a no-brainer to come to OU and to get an education. I ended up getting a bachelor's in science in industrial technology from the Russ College of Engineering. And then I did get also a bachelor in arts in Spanish, where Emilia was also one of my instructors, and from the College of Arts and Sciences. And then I came back in 2007, I think. I don't know. Dates already just kind of no longer right in here. But I did get a master's in business as well, an MBA. From the College of Business. And I was in the private sector for around 12 years or so as an engineer, process engineer. And then I ended up switching my career and got into technology. And now I'm at Ohio University as a learning systems analyst for OID.
Yeah, that's an impressive, career path that you've had, Maria Paz, and it's great to see you, sometimes on campus or if we we bumped into each other sometimes. It's really wonderful. Thank you. Then we have Alicia.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for the invitation to be here. I'm so excited to be among friends. My name is Alicia Rojas Harrison. And I chose to go to OU, very similar to Pasi. I grew up in Athens, in the area. I'm actually from Meigs County, which is a county over from Athens County. And going to OU on a full academic scholarship was a great opportunity for me to be close to my family, as well as get to experience a 4-year university. And it was, since then so I'm the class of 2003 from College of Arts and Sciences. I have a bachelor's in clinical laboratory sciences. And I also have a minor in business. And then currently I'm glad I have a minor, I'm glad I have a bachelor's in biology, because I currently talk about trauma and resilience, and being able to know the brain science of things has been very helpful for me. So yeah, my family's still there. I met my husband there. I mean, I joined my fraternity, there. I met Pasi there. It was life-changing for me in many, many, many different ways.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Thank you, Alicia. And finally, but certainly not least, we have Ivan. Oh, you're muted.
All right. Hello and good morning. My name is Ivan Velez Jr. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm from the west side of Cleveland, Ohio. And coming from Cleveland Metro Schools, not too many of us go on to the post-secondary level. I was fortunate enough to have a great support with teachers and staff that really saw the potential in me to go to that next level. So I knew that I was going to go to college. It wasn't to the middle of my junior year, I believe. Yeah, my junior year, there was a gentleman by the name of Julio Kumba. At that time, he worked for the Office of Admissions, and he wanted to bring Latinos from Cleveland to Ohio University to experience. I think we had what now is called MVP, the Multicultural Visit Program.
Yes.
And I was fortunate enough to be one of the students that went on, we took a charter bus to Ohio University. At this time, I was not somebody that would be able to afford to go on Go Bus, Greyhound, or even get a ride to Athens, which is quite a ways away from Cleveland, Ohio. So when I came for a weekend, we stayed in a hall in that dormitory. I was with my friends. We got to see classes. The professor actually, doing their thing and teaching. Just seeing how beautiful the campus was, it totally was like a culture shock to me. Myself personally, I think that I was going to stay local or go to another state. I was considering other institutions that were giving me scholarships and things. But I think that the community at Ohio University, just seeing it for upwards of maybe a couple of days, I think that really cemented my desire to go to Ohio University, because I was greeted with so many different people that not only were they welcoming when I came, they were welcoming when I was a student and actually looking to acquire my degree. So I went to Ohio University and I was a Urban Scholars. I don't know if Urban Scholars is, I was an Urban Scholars finalist. I didn't receive that scholarship, but having an opportunity to come back and interview for it, and just seeing how Links was still welcoming, even though I wasn't awarded the scholarship, was really a big factor as well. Knowing that as a non-scholar, you can have some of those awesome mentoring opportunities, so you can get a peer mentor, somebody on staff that's really looking to help you as you develop as a scholar. So just having all of that support was really, it really kind of made every other college seem like I wasn't exactly as welcome there. So I think that would be the reason why. Currently I work, and you can see the sign, I work as a high school teacher and a success coach with scholars in Garfield Heights, which is in Cleveland, Ohio. I've been working with high school students as they prepare for the post-secondary path for quite some time now. And I'm excited to be on the panel with you.
Yeah, thank you, Ivan. It's wonderful. Thank you for narrating your experience with us. Yes, well, thank you very much. Gracias a todos. Let's go to our first question. How has your education and experiences prepare you for your career and or what you're currently doing? So let's see, we will begin with Melissa.
Yes, thank you. So, there's so many experiences and so much education. It's hard to kind of identify just a few things. But I will say, in addition to my classroom experiences at OU, I think it was really my growth, my personal growth outside the classroom that really helped me long term. Certainly I learned the skills to be a lifelong learner, but it was really being exposed to people who were different than me, right? International students, different Latinos from different countries of origin, people with different backgrounds and values and lifestyles. That was something where I really learned how to appreciate people and really learn how to put people first. And I think those are lifelong values that can really help people, build community and maintain communities. From the different organizations I was involved in, from learning about policy, right, in Student Senate and being a student trustee, to learning about the culture and the different, back then we had an organization called HIP and also Alpha Psi Lambda, which is still ongoing. all those different things really helped me to really, again, put value on people versus, getting the degree, starting the career, making that money, those types of things. So the policy, learning about representation and advocacy. But I think what was probably even more enduring, in addition to learning and valuing people, is learning how to be a critical thinker, learning how to look at challenges and problems and not get stuck in that space, but also think about the solutions. Because there are a lot of times, we see it in our society now where we kind of get stuck in that space where we only talk about the problems, and the problems have to lead us to solutions. So I think when we talk about communities, that's one of the things that probably brought a lot of us either together or really helped solidify our commitment to OU, is really kind of thinking about where those challenges were, where the gaps were, but also how we were able to build community through our solutions, and how the university either supported us or taught us how to kind of break through some of those challenges.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Melissa. Next, I'd like to go to Mario.
Well, it's a lot to talk about and how education at Ohio University opened all sorts of doors. Now, I was studying biology in Ecuador, and although my university was a good university, for the context, but we still had so many limitations. We had to reuse our latex gloves, for a whole week, let's say, doing the experiments, because we didn't have those access to those types of supplies. When I came to Ohio University, suddenly the whole world of research opened up to me. Suddenly, I had the support of this wonderful faculty that recruited me. I had everything that I could possibly dream in order to become what I wanted to become, a scientist. And both the people and the institution allowed me to project myself into the future, allowed me to develop my skills, allowed me to develop my own projects, and then support me in carrying those out. And that worked so well that I am still working in the same projects that I started as a grad student right now, 30 or whatever, many years later. And that is a wonderful thing. So I think that Ohio University was, for me, a doorway towards a world of science, a world of discovery, both self-discovery as well as scientific discovery, but also a pathway towards trying to put science to the help of those people that need it. In my case, people back in Ecuador, people that suffer Chagas disease, which is a terrible disease that affects right now about 8 million people in the world. And I think that Ohio University allowed me to find my way through this maze of complicated interactions between science, public health, and social determinants of health, to the point where now I am in a position to contribute towards the improvement of the lives of people using all those tools that I acquire at Ohio University. And those friendships are lifelong and wonderful and full of memories of the Bobcat family.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you very much. I will go to Enrique now.
How much time do I have? Seriously, there is a lot of ideas that come to my mind and trying to describe how impactful was my experience at Ohio University. I think the first idea that came to mind is that there was an institution and represented by people who believed in me and who welcomed me and welcomed my family with open arms and challenged me to move away from that experience of coming from the southern part of Chile and be exposed to a different world. I remember one of the many delights that I had was to walk in on campus and hear many different languages being spoken simultaneously. And to me, that was, wow, this is the world here. This is what we really are as a society. You know, we are a transnational society where many people come together and coexist together. I also remember the idea of becoming somebody. And in order to become somebody, I needed to be challenged and supported and mentored. And I had all of those elements in my experience at OU. There were many professors with whom I sat down and we talk about politics, we talk about homework, we talk about many different things. And I always learned something from them. I treasure that a lot. I also treasure friendships. Mario was talking about many friends. I remember when he came in '92 also, because I came at the same time. And I know that in the future, I'll be able to, when Mario gets the Nobel Prize in Medicine, I'll be able to say, I met him when he was just a student and met his daughters and his wife. And I watch him grow as a scientist and someone who brings the name of OU very, very high. Also, in the area of my own personal professional development, OU was the one who really played a pivotal role and guided me into this field, and not only by providing the financial assistance, but also the level of experience. Director of housing told me, "You're good at this." And I said, okay, maybe. And here I am 20-some years later, enjoying student affairs and projecting the same passion that I got at OU with students from different parts of the world in my current job. And I also did the same thing at OU. And so to finish, OU is very, very special to me. And sometimes I wish I was back there, but you know, life throw different balls at you and you got to handle them whichever way they come. So, but I am very, very appreciative and thankful. And one way of showing my appreciation is when I go to Athens, I usually manage to visit one of my former professors and just spend time together talking and laughing and sharing a meal, because it's my way of saying thank you, not only to him who was so important in my life, but also to the institution that he so well represented. Hope I made sense.
Okay, thank you so much, Enrique, for your words. Yeah. And then we would like to ask Maria Paz. You're muted, Maria Paz.
I just unmuted myself. I'm just thinking, like, how do I follow up with what my dad just said? I think going back in time, because it's been many, many years ago since I was an undergrad, and looking at how my experiences prepare me for my career. I was a student that didn't know necessarily what I wanted to do with my life. So I actually switched around majors quite a bit. And I think that has definitely, I mean, even like with my career as well, I've switched it completely, has prepared me that, you know, there's no set path for you in life. And I think that is one of the best things that I was able to get out of OU. And regardless of, you know, what you want to do, sometimes it just doesn't work out either. But I think having that support group and having the community and your network and your friendships that you develop at the institution, I think kind of helps you move forward regardless of what, you know, life throws at you. And I think that it's specifically around my college and what I've learned is it provided me the building blocks and how to tackle these challenges and how to move forward. I think that one of the best things that I was able to get is just being adaptable, no matter what. You adapt, you take challenges head on. And I think that is one of the things that I have, one of the things that I got out of my education at Ohio University is through the many different majors that I tried and switched from, I still cherish those time. Even that I don't see them as a failure per se. It's a learning experience, and you move on. What I'm currently doing, I think even still today, is I'm currently at Ohio University as a learning systems analyst and working with technology and supporting students in their academic technology, what they use in classrooms, and things sometimes are very difficult. They have there's unique challenges, especially in today's, not necessarily especially today, but given what's happened in the past few years with what's going on in the world is I've been able to adapt and be able to look at different angles and use my experience to better the lives and the experience of Ohio University students.
Thank you, Maria Paz. That's really, really wonderful. What you said about adaptability, is such an important skill that you got. Yeah. Thank you. Then we move to Alicia. Please.
I've been thinking about this really hard also, and I keep coming back to OU helped establish my identity and establish the importance of relationships, because I wouldn't have made it in my undergraduate time without relationships. And I say identity because I am my father actually graduated from OU from the Rush College of Engineering. He's a computer science major. And also he was an international student. And growing up in Southeastern Ohio, there's not a lot of diversity outside of OU. OU is the great diverse community it is, but outside OU, it's not very diverse. So I didn't know that side of myself when I started my education. It really took the relationships, and I'm still active now through my business and just through I'm still active with Alpha Psi Lambda on a national level also, because everything helped me get to this point. Like even Posse, like when I was joining ASI, I didn't know how to speak Spanish. I'm not a natural Spanish speaker. And however, because of Posse and the other two ladies, they exposed me to my culture. They taught me how to be inclusive, like how to accept that part of myself. And it helped it changed my whole trajectory of my life, really. And really, I developed my initial leadership skills in high school, but at OU, like the leadership skills expanded. What Melissa talked about earlier in regards to policy, like I had no idea about policy. However, bridging those gaps and finding those things that needed to be changed or addressed or whatever the case may be, I learned that at OU, and now I'm still an advocate as part of my business and as part of my professional career. And I believe everything happens for a reason. We all go through our own experiences for a reason, and everything I've done thus far has helped me put on the trajectory that I am at now. And I'm very proud to say I'm a Bobcat legacy, even with my father. And my mother was also a student. I remember going to Morton Hall and sitting in on the computer classes when computer science was the little papers that you had to like put holes in and do the codes. And the best hot chocolate in the world was at the Oasis, and it is no longer there. So,
Oh my gosh, OU
OU has always been part of my life. My aunt worked for computer services she retired from there. So I feel deeply connected to OU, and I don't know what I would be without it. And as Ivan was speaking about Julio, I'm like, what a small world. I know Julio also. So it's, you know, it all put us on a trajectory. The Links program, there was a special program during the summer before I started my undergrad career, and it was around health sciences. So all the health sciences majors, especially those of, you know, BIPOC minority students, we all got to meet each other. There's a small group of us, like 20 of us, got to meet before we started college. And I'm still friends with all of them today. I'm also proud to say that I hooked one of them, I introduced one of, you know, my really good friends to this day to his wife, who's also a member of our fraternity. So it's all about relationships. And I really learned how important that was as I moved into OU and really started to find myself in my personal identity.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that reflection, Alicia. It's very powerful. Yeah. And we're gonna ask again. I'm thinking I have Ivan here for our next person to respond. Please, Ivan.
Yeah, I think as brief of a question it is, it's kind of loaded for me. And for everyone else. I don't want to speak for other people, but for myself, it really was. I think it narrows down to the organizations that I was associated with at my time of Ohio University that truly prepared me for the outside work in the world.
Yeah.
Sigma Lambda Beta International Fraternity Incorporated, the Eta Delta chapter. I was a freshman, second quarter, back when we still were on quarters. I know we're on semesters now. You know, that was a lovely junior year of mine. Side note, being the guinea pig year, the first semester year. But yeah, I think that the rigors, the hardship that is college and the experience prepares you for just about all the obstacles that career life will bring. And I think that Ohio University gave me 4 years of that and some. And then you have to put it with the support group at Links, the Greek Life office, my advisors, you know, some of them are still in my life now. I still get references from Julio Kumba. I still get him a reference. My former supervisor, and a big mentor to me is Ty. So to this day, those people, you know, Brandy Baker, they used to work in Links, and the list goes on. You know, I'll be here forever if I were to list all these people that really helped me as I had my journey at Ohio University. But yeah, I think being at Latino Student Union, I think now that the Hispanic Latino Student Union now, I think they've changed the name, if I'm not mistaken, being on the executive board of that organization and others, you know, going to the many events, and then also things that were outside of the school, like the Interlink Alliance, those conferences, going there with Ty Carr, being able to see the other schools, you know, the HBCUs, being able to expose yourself to everything that's outside of Ohio University too, definitely made a big difference for sure. So, and then also seeing all your peers doing so well, where it was really a motivating factor too. So I think that those things, the culmination of all those things has to be, in a nutshell, how Ohio University has prepared me for what I do now.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Ivan, for your reflection. Yeah, I think for the interest of time, we're going to move to our next question, which is what services or programs did Ohio University or Athens offer that assisted your adjustments in living in the OU Athens community? And I'd like to start with Rosa.
Okay. So I'm originally not from Ohio at all. I'm originally from New Jersey. So I was an out-of-state student who literally knew no one there. And I was very accustomed to a totally different kind of community. You know, coming to a predominantly white institution was almost like a culture shock for me. I had never experienced that kind of environment, you know. So when I got there, the Cutler Scholars Program really, really helped me find my pockets of community there. They introduced me to the Multicultural Center, and then the Multicultural Center introduced me to the Latino Student Union, and the Latino Student Union introduced me to so many other people who made me want to stay at OU. I'll be honest, the first few weeks were tough. I didn't want to stay because I didn't have that community yet. But I can't even talk about how much pride I have for being a Bobcat, and how much pride I have for being a Cutler Scholar. All of these programs that have definitely changed my life, I can't even thank them enough. The only way I can thank them is by, you know, giving back. When they ask me to come back and do something for them, I'm like first one to raise my hand. All of these things are just so valuable to me. I can't even, I keep thinking of all the programs, and those are all the programs, you know, like Cutler Scholars, Multicultural Center, Latino Student Union, Alpha Psi Lambda. All of these people definitely made my experience at OU 100 times better. And the biggest advice I could give to students now is just like, go to those places and find your community and build it yourself. But I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much, Rosa. Would anyone like to answer this question, or shall I ask some of you, or Enrique?
Mill Street definitely was a pivotal experience coming to OU. For those who don't know, Mill Street used to be the Merit housing at OU, which is the very end of Mill Street. OU doesn't have that experience anymore. Just living among people like me with 2 kids, most of them were married, and, you know, balancing being a husband, being a dad, and also being a student. It happened in the community. And I treasure my experience at Mill Street a lot. And I still have friends from all over the world that every once in a while we talk about this. The second one, I think it was the exposure to so many different elements that helped me in my education. I would talk about the library. I remember, I'm gonna put myself out. When I came to OU, we still have the card system. So, you know, going through the cards looking for the sort of book that I was looking for. Then it became more electronic, and then I was able to request those stuff from home in my computer. The exposure to faculty who had no problems in really challenging me and forcing me to look at things differently. I remember one class in particular, history of Latin American US relations with Dr. Groh. It destroyed all my images of US Latin American relationships. Great class. Many people didn't like it. I really enjoyed it. The ability to engage in many different opportunities while you were in school. I volunteered with the program that followed links. And I was working with students who were being dismissed from school because of academics. And I remember just enjoying helping students come up with a plan and mentoring them to be back in full standing. And many of them graduated and became professionals. The ability to explore who you want to be and how you can do it among people who are going through the same experience, because my experience is not unique. Everybody around me as a student, as a grad student, we're going through the same thing. Is this the one thing that I want to do in my life? How am I going to be able to do this once I'm no longer here? Who is going to be my support? All of that I received at OU. So I am very, very appreciative. Also, the community just welcoming my kids. They landed on, where was it? Thursday, finished school Monday in Chile, took 2 days off, landed in Athens on Thursday, and next Monday they were in school with a different language. So they didn't have time to really adjust anything. And they had a great time. Well, I think they have a good time, but they learned the language, they moved forward, they graduated, and now they're professionals and they're good citizens.
Wonderful. Enrique, would anyone like to answer this question, or should we move to the next? Would anyone like to talk more about these services or programs that assisted? Yeah, Ivan.
I think that the Multicultural Center in Baker was a big help. When you have people like Winsome that are putting together programs and events that are just showing you time and time again that you could be a Latino student at Ohio University, a predominantly white institution, and she didn't make us feel like we were a minority there, because she saw and she brought to the surface that multicultural aspect and culture of Ohio University. I think that that would be one. And the Amanda J. Cunningham Leadership Center, when they put those seminars together, those sessions that really taught you about your personality, prepared you for the soft hard skills that you were needing for your workplace, that you would be coming to in the future. I think that as well as some of the services that are kind of overlooked, like the career, as an alumnus, you're able to go back to the career services people and come, and they'll help you with resumes, they'll help you develop skills, they'll help you find jobs when you're seeking employment. I think that it's not all student organizations, it's not all the departments that we see in the diversity and inclusion office, but some of those services that are kind of overlooked too. So we mentioned links, we mentioned other things, but I think some of those really have to be brought to the surface as well.
If I could also add to that really quickly, Upward Bound was very important for me to actually be on a college campus and to live there and to have that experience. I missed the Lindley Cultural Center. That was where I got to meet everyone. And yeah, I just wanted to bring those up as well. And the new Baker is not the old Baker. Sorry for y'all new people. Old Baker just had that like feel to it.
Yeah, I had that experience with the new building when they had I brought students for a field trip to the International Street Fair, and I got to show them around Athens, and a lot of Athens changed from when I went for the Black Alumni Reunion weekend, and I think 2018, 19 or something like that. A lot has changed between that, even just Union Street, not just the campus, just everywhere else. Uptown is just so different. So yeah, I was kind of like, well, this used to be this, and this used to be here. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I think we should move to the next question, and it has two parts. How are you giving back and making an impact in your current community? Or what ways are you helping other Hispanic, Latinx in your communities today? And maybe we can begin. Would you like anyone to jump in, or shall I ask? I can ask Maria Paz. Or...
Sure. I think it just depends on like defining community. I think we have the, our Latino community, we have the Ohio University student community. So it's very, it's a complex kind of question. However, I think that for, as part of my job is for me to support all students at Ohio University in how they use technology and how the technology is used in the classrooms, which is completely different than how it was pen and paper when I went to school. So that has, you know, the amount of the resources there also. I mean, I'm not saying it's easier, because there's always those challenges, and not everybody has the same opportunities and resources to be able to use the current technology and what is used in the classroom. So it's looking at how to make it inclusive, and to make sure it's not necessarily you're looking at just the people that have those resources, but like those people that do not, obviously the community, that, you know, what are we missing, and how we can improve the student experience at Ohio University. As far as, you know, I think, you know, my dad has alluded in, and he said, like, obviously the relationships that were built when I was a kid, when he was a student and I was a kid, it's coming to Ohio universities. We met quite a few people and students that were there that had little ones as well, that I actually used to babysit, and then looking at them and helping them as they come back as students at Ohio University, and providing them some support away from their families who may be abroad or, you know, somewhere else. It's been really fulfilling to see them kind of grow up, and now they're professionals. It's like, wow, what happened? You know, time flies. It's really, it's I love to see, you know, as the generations come back and they get to enjoy different OU, same but different Ohio University, and have their own experiences and build their own relationships and love for this university.
Thank you, Maria Paz. Would anyone like to answer this question?
Perhaps I can jump
Mario.
in. Well, I think that right now as a faculty at Ohio University, I am able to grow on that experience that Ohio University gave to me. One of the things that I do on a yearly basis is take students abroad to Ecuador to participate in the community-based tropical disease research program in Ecuador. And to date, over the years, I have taken more than 700 students down, and many faculty, including Emilia, that has been a faculty in our program. And what that does is to bring Latin America to OU. You know, the students have this sense of what being in Latin America, being in Ecuador, and that includes students that never have traveled, students that have traveled elsewhere, and also students that are looking for their Latino roots. Because it's hard for second generation or third generation Latinos to identify with everything that they saw in their parents, because their current situation or the school or the, you know, is different, and they live in a minority situation where they, you know, maybe Spanish is not your first language, as Alicia was saying, and maybe Spanish or the Spanish culture clashes a lot with other things, and that is really powerful. Another way in which I've been able to participate is, or to give back, is providing opportunities for students from Latin America to come to Ohio University. And dozens of graduate students have come here and work with me and with other faculty in projects, and getting those skills that have allowed them to be successful in life. And finally, I think that, as I alluded to initially, right now, the development of this research program that I have been conducting over the years is getting to the point where it passes from the realm of science to the realm of policy, or the realm of social change that is being enacted in the ground. We are right now building houses that protect people from Chagas disease, and this is a new concept of a healthy house that incorporates all of these elements that are so wonderful and bring all of these different multidisciplinary opportunities from people from communications and from economics and from policy and from Latin American studies and so on and so forth, to integrate in a model that is not about the absence of disease, but well-being as the definition of health. And so being able to bring research into action is a way that I hope that OU will continue to provide this community of Latinos with a wonderful opportunity to improve the life of others.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mario. Thank you so much for your question, for your answer, and all the meaningful, it so touches us in so many ways. It sounds like we have a question from our participants, and the question is, what were some of the harmful microaggressions, direct racism that you had to deal with? Maybe we can have one of you answer. Anyone would like to answer the question?
That's a tough question.
Yes.
It's a very tough question. Ivan, you want to go first?
I'll go first. Can I ask
Okay.
the first question, the previous question a bit first? I was prepared for that one. So I think that a big one was the holidays that kind of were associated with Latino culture, as they were celebrated in the Athens community, not so much Ohio University, but in the Athens area, a rural area. So I would see things like, I remember doing a "We Are a Culture, Not a Costume" campaign, right? And that showed different cultures. Like myself, I was participating and I was in one of the photo shoots for the kind of like those racist Halloween costumes. And that became an annual campaign to remind people or to reinforce the idea that we're a culture and not a costume kind of thing. I think that as big as how Halloween is in Athens, that was a big issue. And that's why that campaign kind of surfaced. So I think that was one thing, having the sombrero hats and other kind of like foolish Halloween costumes that we would have to see and stuff. I think that was probably a more direct type of racism. And then with the Latino students in Athens, like on campus, I think that people thinking that we knew each other might have been another one, because we did. We didn't know each other all the time. So it wasn't too many of us there. I know for myself, I was happy when I got to see some Latinos. If it wasn't big, if it wasn't Hispanic heritage, we got to see a speaker or go to an event that was for the Latino culture, Latino people. I don't think that I saw too many. I'm just speaking for myself. Even in Latino Student Union, I know that it's much bigger now than it was when I was down there from 2010 to 2014. So even going there and knowing that I'm going to see a number of Latinos, that wasn't exactly the case. But as far as that question, I'm sorry, I don't mean to ramble on, but microaggressions, I don't know about microaggressions, to be honest with you. I don't think I experienced many microaggressions, but the racism was probably the Halloween or some of the theme parties that they would do out on uptown. They'd have some not so culturally aware events, I guess, for lack of a better word. And I think that's the best way I can phrase and put that question and answer that.
Thank you, Ivan. Would anyone I think Alicia wanted to make a comment?
Yes, please. Ty has something to say first, though.
I was just saying briefly, because I definitely want to get to the last question, and I thank you so much. And I appreciate your candid, your honesty. This has been great. The folks are texting me and telling me how wonderful it is. So go ahead, because I'm taking up your time.
Yeah, no worries. I'll make it brief. So one of the biggest things that I take away even today, and I said it earlier, it's about relationships. And I really learned a lot about the humanity of people. Like I said, I grew up in Southeastern Ohio, so I have seen racism from all spectrums. And on campus, yes, I have had even other minority students, experiences with other minority students as a non-Spanish speaker. Sometimes even from members of my own culture, like because I don't speak Spanish, I get the aggressions or, really identifying with the other minority students on campus because there are not a lot of us. And being able to establish those relationships across cultures was so important because eventually once we got to know each other, we started having each other's back. And we started, we would always be the one saying hi every time we passed each other on campus, or we would go to Little Africa and meet up with people. And that was our community. And that's how I think what Rosa was saying earlier, you got to find it for yourself. You have to find your community for yourself. And I think this is moving into the question that you want us to answer, Ty. The words of wisdom, step outside the box and be brave and have courage that you matter and that you can make a difference in the lives of other people. I've known students who were just like straight in the books. You can find them in the library 24/7, 365 days. And then that like last quarter, they're like, oh, I want to go party. And I'm like, but we done love you, appreciate you. You're going to medical school. I get it. Going to medical school is a lot of work. But build your own and stick to it. Stick to your own values, stick to your own morals, and find your identity, because college at any campus, I believe, is really about finding who you are and going through those different experiences and really narrowing in into what you want to be. This is a time of your life to do that. And I'm very grateful of my experience at OU that allowed me to get to where I am today. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Alicia. That's some wonderful words, of advice, because it is true, it's a unique experience, and this is where you learn how to become who you are, develop all your potential. Yeah, thank you. Are there any other words of wisdom that you have for the current students at Ohio to make a difference locally and in your community? Anybody else would like to respond or to express some words of wisdom?
Yeah, I think being visible is a big part of it. Being out there, getting as involved as you can is the best way to prepare yourself for the outside working world as well. Being a Latino student, you want to make sure that they know that you're a student leader. They know that when there's an event, I was, when I was there, I did a lot. I was involved in a lot. So a lot of faculty knew who I was, and that helped my experience at Ohio University. So if you're a current student, just find something that you're passionate about. Make sure that you're not only involved with the organizations and the people that are associated with those things, but also put yourself in a position to prepare yourself to be in a leadership role, whether it's at Ohio University or whatever comes after Ohio University.
Great. Thank you, Ivan. I saw some other hands.
That's what I wanted to add on to just don't be afraid, really, and reach out across other organizations. I think what, looking back at my experience and being in Alpha Psi Lambda, we did so many programs with wonderful other organizations on campus, and we build that community. And, not everybody's going to be available, but keep reaching out. Sometimes you just need just that one chance. And the more people you have involved, the more organizations, the more resources you're going to have, and the more people they're going to know and build that network. And I think that is something that sometimes you just need to reach out. Even doesn't matter really, doesn't necessarily have to be the minority group, but other organizations. And that way you get that, you'll be able to get more programming out there or more resources for whatever you want to do, especially as an organization on campus. I think sometimes resources are very tight, and when joining forces, you'll you'll be able to get more out there. So thanks.
Yes, thank you so much. I think Ty is telling me that there's no more time.
Well, I want to hear from some of the others,
Oh.
especially from my my more senior members who are
Yes, yes.
but our time, and I think Alicia just put in the chat, when are we going to do this again?
Oh,
Which again warms my heart to know that this is something that was needed and long time coming. I want to do this again, maybe not necessarily this way, but you know, in essence of or interest of not being able to travel, maybe from Massachusetts or Wisconsin, other places that you're coming to come here. But I certainly want to do something soon, and we'll talk. You all who are on here are going to be the people that I reach out to when we want to do something in person, and perhaps do something in person soon. So just know that you're going to hear from me. I know that Emilia has some closing things to say. I want to thank the people who stayed on. We've only lost like 3 or 4 people, and I know we're over time. Megan, I hope that I'm not in any kind of trouble because we've gone over, you know, from 10 o'clock. I just wanted to hear more, and you're feeding me, and you, yeah. So,
yeah.
go ahead, Emilia.
Me too. You know, it's just such a wonderful experience for me as well. I was honored to be your moderator today, and I would like to thank all of you for being here, for joining us, for sharing your time and your experiences with us, and well, of course, the participants, as Ty was saying, you know, also thank you very much for being here with us. And so the word I'm gonna send it out to you, Ty.
Well, I want to say that there's an evaluation for today's event is being placed in the chat, and we encourage you to take a few minutes to give us feedback about your experience. As I mentioned earlier, recording of this session will be added, not scheduled, to the OUAA's YouTube channel website, and we'll let you know when that is, because that's something that you could share with other people, or you could hold on, you know, to those memories. This has been rewarding, and I know that Enrique got off the mic, so I think Enrique wants to have a last word.
No. I just want to say that I was going to respond to the question before, but I just want to say this was a great experience. It was heartwarming to see friendly faces, and I think that we, as someone who went through the school and had the experience, graduated, can really help a lot in bringing out more people to come to OU and to feel that they're not the only ones in the experience that we went through, other people went through. So they're not alone there. There's other people who marked the way, and if we did it, they can too.